And there you have a classic direct mail piece. There are often extra things put in a direct mail piece, little presents or prizes or calendars or little buck slips. The whole purpose is for you to find things in there that you gravitate to and that you grab, that keep you involved with the piece and move you to wanting to buy. And here's another example of a classic direct mail piece. Again, the outer envelope. Its purpose is to get you to open it. The letter to involve you in the story and tell you the reasons this is such a great thing. Brochure, which should illustrate and pictorialize what they want you to buy. Your reply card. And there's a little lift note there, example of a little thing for you to look at. Now, for some reason, I'm having a heck of it. There we go. Okay. All right. So another kind of direct mail, a very popular kind of direct mail, is a catalog, the mailed catalog. Today's catalogs, as you can see, are very targeted. I can think of an example. For instance, I get catalogs from a company called Cabela's. Some of you may have heard of Cabela's. It's an outdoors person's kind of catalog with a lot of fishing and hunting equipment and outdoor clothing and tents and things like that. Company's been around for quite a while. In the last 10 or 15 years, they've built some large, elaborate retail locations. And they recently were acquired by another similar company called Bass Pro. But I can tell you that if you buy mostly fishing things from Cabela's, they will send you fishing equipment catalogs, etc. So these things, again, can be tailored very much by product line. Catalogs are also used for B2B. I worked for a company at one point called Adirondack Furniture that sold office furniture and church furniture and school furniture. And those catalogs were prepared and sent to businesses and schools and churches and, B2B. So here's the definition of a catalog. I like definitions. And a pamphlet or a book that contains a mail order catalog, a university catalog. Okay. And here's another famous outdoorsy catalog company, LL Bean. Been around since 1912. I'm sure most of you have heard of LL Bean. Mostly known for their clothing and shoes and bags and things like that. Not so much for the fishing rods and things like that, which they don't really get into that much. It's a catalog that came out, obviously, a few years ago. You'll notice that the cover of the catalog has a role similar to the outer envelope in the mailing. That really wants you to open and look inside. And that's the purpose of the catalog. By the way, I would be remiss if I didn't show you an example of, I think, what is my favorite catalog. It's for a company that no longer is in business called J. Peterman. And just a little aside on this. The person who created J. Peterman was an agency creative type, a writer named Don Staley, S-T-A-L-E-Y. I met Don Staley through different contacts that I had, and when I was running marketing at 1-800-Flowers.com, I hired Don Staley as a creative consultant right around the time that 1-800-Flowers went public, and paid him a lot of money. And he helped me find a voice for 1-800-Flowers.com. as we repositioned the company. I got to know him, very interesting fellow, big white beard, drove an old Mercedes. And at that point, J. Peterman had really just kind of folded. And what had happened was that they had brought someone in to run the company who expanded very quickly and borrowed a lot of money, and company couldn't make the payments, and there it went. But this is J. Peterman, a couple of pages from J. Peterman. And the reason J. Peterman was so successful was it was a very different kind of catalog. They showed drawings. It was clothing and shoes, bags, with kind of an attitude, a certain brand characteristic. And instead of showing photographs and models and people, they showed elegant drawings of the products. And Don Staley actually chose a lot of the products. Now, there was a J. Peterman, but who was kind of at the front of the company, the face that people saw, but Don is the creative power behind it. And so the items were chosen very carefully, and then Don wrote the copy. And the copy, the words that described the items were what was so amazing and really brilliant. And so just take a look at this one. Côte d'Azur 1929, which is in France. You know, it's where they have the film awards every year, right? On the ocean. Days of gossip and sunbathing, green figs and Pernod, which is a kind of liquor. What did you think of the party at Maum's? Light my sobranie, you wicked thing. I guess that's a kind of cigarette. In the evening, dinner outdoors among the orange and lemon trees, wearing pants like these, cool, delicious flow of silk against skin. The colors make a person look more tanned. Silk palazzo pants favored on the posh coasts of Europe and in America, too, where Hollywood leading ladies drove the studio nuts at first by wearing them in public. Pure silk, crepe de chine in a wide leg cut, very slimming, lots of drape and movement, fitting darts front and rear, 6 pearl shell button on left side seam, no waistband or pockets to mar the clean look. Imported. And then this one, I'm going to read also, J. Peterman to a T. Always nice to do a little research in the field, as Thornton Wilder put it. There's nothing like eavesdropping to show you that the world outside your head is different from the world inside your head. Thornton Wilder was a playwright. I'm always pleased with the discovery, the conversations surrounding the not-so-simple T-shirt in various high to higher end stores, to ridiculous end stores. Went like this. My Yorkie couldn't fit into this. Great cut. You'd think they'd make it in short sleeves. Would it be too much to expect in black? If this were just a tad longer, I'd love it. Did you see the price on this? Now this is perfect. Perfect T-shirts for women. Soft Pima cotton and a little stretchy stuff to keep you looking neat. Rounded neck with 1/4-inch trim, cut a bit longer. Slightly fitted foot. Not boxy. Fits the way you want a T-shirt too. Okay. So in catalogs, you have time to tell a story, as you do in all print. And if the storyteller is really good, it can be amazing. Catalogs have depth of sale, meaning you spend a lot of time with them. Here's the back of a Cabela's catalog, everyone. Letting you know what's new for 2015 and getting you to want to open it. And here's another back of a Cabela's catalog. This one has my address, as you can see. It's got some numbers. You see the 1302 number, which is my customer ID number. And what I'm interested in. There's another customer number up on top. This is another summer catalog, and it's showing all the product on the back. And online retailers have found that they can still get a good return from sending catalogs. And so that's why L.L. Bean and Cabela's and lots of others who are mostly operating online these days, will send out catalogs regularly to current customers, focused on products that customers like. Because if you like the products and you're into the hobby, you're into the provider, you will look at the catalog. You will spend time with it, and chances are very good you're going to order something. So we've looked at classic direct mail. We've looked at catalogs. This is another kind of mailing. It's called a co-op mailing. Valpak is a company that does these. This is typically each company. There'll be many companies in here, and each one will have a coupon, a two-sided coupon. You'll get local retailers in here, a local dry cleaner, a couple of pizza shops, a local limo service. There's an IHOP coupon in here. And so therefore the costs are shared among, 15 or 20 different companies. And most people know that there are lots of savings in these things. And that's a co-op mailing. So we've looked at a few different kinds of direct mail. Let's kind of talk about advantages and disadvantages now, as we've been doing with every media type. Advantages can be very personalized and targeted. There are lots of formats. You can do testing. As with all direct marketing, testing is always important. I can send out different outer envelopes. I can have different offers sent to a large number of people in my database, and I can read my current offer against a new offer and see what gets more responses. The key advantage is that the time spent with these pieces is huge. The depth of sale is huge. And secondly, mailboxes are becoming more uncluttered, and that's why even the head of marketing of Publishers Clearinghouse, Jason John, who's a good friend of mine, says that, yes, Publishers Clearinghouse does TV and does email selling products, but they also send catalogs, and they work. Disadvantage. These things are expensive. Cost per 1,000 pieces mailed. If a piece costs 75 cents with postage and printing and everything else, you've got a cost per 1,000 pieces of $750. In general, direct mail cost per 1,000 will range from $500 to $1,000, 50 cents to $1 per piece. Now just compare that with radio CPM of a couple of dollars, out-of-home CPM of a couple of dollars, and you'll see the cost and the environmental issues, the printing and paper issues, the using of carbon and the mailing and the mail trucks. Those are the disadvantages of direct mail. And you'll remember that we have several ways that we use to evaluate different media types. CPM, we've talked about, quality of impression, measurability. Quality of the impression for direct mail is excellent if it's opened. Unsolicited direct mail, open rates are pretty low. If it's a catalog and you're on the list of the company, and you bought from them before, the open rate's pretty high. So the quality of impression, to look at pictures of the merchandise, to read some copy about the merchandise is very, very high. Measurability is also very good with direct mail. Because it's direct, we know who it's going to. They're on a list, they're in a database. Whether they respond or not, we can track the response. And so it's a very measurable media type. Speaking of a little bit more about the quality of the impression, whether it's visual or sound or whatever, of course, direct mail is print, it's words and static images, it's not video. So like a magazine, it uses words and text and pictures to communicate and stimulate the imagination. And then one thing I'd ask you to think about is the difference in shopping of a catalog versus a